Hi, this is Kim Reads Urantia, and I'm going to read to you from the Urantia book. First, I'm going to read a little bit from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. Today is May 25th. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love you. Okay, to get that in. This is from Mansour Al-Hallaj. That's my cat doing this. What are you doing? Get out of here. Yep. Okay, so Mansour Al-Hallaj, stop it, was Persian mystic and poet, lived during the Abbasid era, and he died in 922 AD, and I guess he said something that upset some people. He said, I am the truth. I am the truth, which I think some people took as the wrong way, as a claim to divinity, and they executed him. And apparently it says he said this before his execution. Well, it'd be really awesome if he said it after his execution, right? But he said this before his execution. If you were to place before me hellfire with all it contains of torment, I would think lightly of it in comparison with my state when you are hidden from me. Okay, so better to have hellfire than to have God hidden from him. Forgive the people and do not forgive me. Have mercy upon them and do not have mercy upon me. I do not intercede with you for myself or beseech you for what is due to me. Do with me what you will. Okay, so here he's being executed, but he says, you know what? Have mercy on these people who are doing this to me. Don't worry about me, God. Worry about these people that are doing this. A lot like Jesus said upon his own execution. And I would be in the worst place. I would put me in hellfire. That's better than that you should be hid from me. And I think the implication is that somehow God is hidden from these people that are doing this to him. So because God is hidden from them, they are in a worse place than he is in. So this guy, Mansour Al-Hallaj, has it so much better than these people who are doing this to him. That's, I think, what he's saying. So they deserve mercy because they can't see God. They deserve mercy. And he who sees God, he knows. So that's interesting, and that always brings to my mind, how do I know that I'm in this superior camp, the people that can see God or that know God? Because at one point, all of us are in the place where we can't see God. So coming to know God and coming to trust that I know God, and to believe that, to trust that, getting to that place, I think humility has to be the key to it. Humility. But in a way, it's not humility because I believe I'm ahead of these other people spiritually, right? Because I can see God and they can't see God. So isn't that the opposite of humility? But it's like you use humility to get to this other place, to this higher place. So it's strange this way, but I think that's a lot of how God works. Um, yeah, so yeah, be humble and practice cultivating the consciousness of God, awareness of God, and not trying to be holy. Try to be genuine. Try to be genuinely yourself. Find that genuine connection. So much of this has to do with, they're the people who think they're God and who think they know God's will, and the people that follow them that are really abdicating their own what's good for themselves, their own self-care, and leaving that to this higher powerful figure. And I don't do that because the one who takes care of me, the God presence, is within me, and I can trust that. So I don't need to have a lot of faith in any single person outside of me. I don't need anybody to intercede with me between me and God, to advocate for me, to make sure that I can go to heaven or something. I don't need that. I don't need a preacher. I don't need someone to tell me my religious lessons, because I have God within me to tell me these things. I already know. So being able to trust that and just staying humble and not judging these people. But you can start to see that. And it makes me really sad. It makes me really feel powerless, because I want to help them. Because most of the people you interact with, they're not really malicious people. They're just misguided. They're just following something that's not real. So, and you can't get what's real from a book or from this. This is what it literally says in the, you know what I mean? And I studied the Urantia book, and I revere the Urantia book, but what I revere, what is real, is that connection. I have the connection inside of me, and that's higher than anything. But see, those other people would look at it and say, well, that's egotistical of you, Kim. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not really. It's like, how do you differentiate that from your ego? So that's something I can't prove to anybody, but I just have to know it inside myself. And it comes from a true desire to benefit everyone in the world, to all God's people, and to elevate the condition, not to elevate myself over anybody else, or to be believed in instead of somebody else, yeah. So, and I think of it as weeding my internal garden in my mind. So if I have these feelings of superiority, even though if it's I'm superior to you because I'm more humble than you are, whatever, like that, I got to weed out those thoughts, and I got to fix that into something that I can that's fertile, that I don't want to be perceived as anybody that's, oh, you're so big and holy and stuff like that. I'm not, and it might come across to people like that. And it's something that I have to cleanse out of myself on a routine basis in order to present this to you in a good way. It can be such an easy trap to fall into, thinking that you're here. I've got God and these people don't have God. So have mercy on them instead of me, instead of saying, hey, have mercy on me, just the same as you have mercy on these other people. It can be a complex thing, but when you come to the center, I'm no better or worse than anybody else. I'm just a pilgrim on the path toward God, the same as everybody else. If other people take a wrong turn, if I take wrong turns too, and we're all in this together. We're all just here trying to help each other. That's really all there is. And if you go a different way, then God bless you on that journey, and I hope the consequences of your journey are fruitful. And if it yields forth that nasty kind of fruit, then may the consequences of that be minimal. May you recognize that right away and go back to where you need to be. And me too. If I'm doing something wrong, may I recognize it and go the right way. So none of us really knows how it's going to turn out. And we just kind of just plod forth and just try. So I don't know, that was kind of lengthy again. We have to move on. Okay. 1, Identity of the Eternal Son. This is part 1 of paper 6, or section 1 of paper 6. Identity of the Eternal Son. The Eternal Son is the original and only begotten Son of God. He is God the Son, the second person of deity, and the associate creator of all things. As the Father is the first great source and center, so the Eternal Son is the second great source and center. Okay, so there's this word begotten. Begotten. What does that mean, begotten? So the what? The son, my progeny that issues forth from my body, either sexually or not sexually. Okay, I beget stuff. I begot 2 sons of my own. Okay, I always think that's a strange word because it kind of means sex and it kind of doesn't. I think reproduction, sexual reproduction. I don't know, but didn't God beget the Holy Spirit too? But I think that was the Holy Spirit is kind of a product of the Universal Father with the Eternal Son. And therefore emerged the Holy Spirit. It's kind of like, okay, so you've got one thing, right? Comes apart here. Now we've got Father and Son. Okay, now we've got what's between them too. So what's between them becomes the Holy Spirit. Kind of like that. Then that kind of becomes its own thing apart from those other 2 things, and it goes on from there. Okay, so something like that. It's metaphysical. It's strange. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. The Eternal Son is the spiritual center and the divine administrator of the spiritual government of the universe of universes. Okay, the Universal Father is a first creator and then a controller. The Eternal Son is a co-creator and then a spiritual administrator. God is spirit, and the Son is a personal revelation of that spirit. The first source and center is the volitional absolute. The second source and center is the personality absolute? Okay, so it's like, okay, so God had this idea for this great business, this great establishment of creating everything, reality and humans and all this stuff. Okay, so I got this idea for this great business, and son, you're gonna run it. You're gonna be the CEO. So this is the idea. This is what we're doing. So then I leave the business to the son to run it. Okay? Kind of. Okay, the universal father never personally functions as a creator, except in conjunction with the son and with the coordinate action of the son. Really? Okay. So the father can do things himself. Well, we talked about a lot about the father. He's very powerful in himself, and especially bestows parts of himself on all of the children, our thought adjusters. But he creates in coordinate with the Son. Had the New Testament writer referred to the eternal Son, he would have uttered the truth when he wrote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made." Okay, so the Word is like the eternal Son, the first expression of God. God's expression. Yeah. Or intent. Okay, so there's an idea and then there's an expression, there's an intent. When the Son of the Eternal Son appeared on Urantia, those who fraternized with this divine being in human form alluded to him as he who was from the beginning, whom we have heard, whom we have seen with our eyes, whom we have looked upon, and our hands have handled, even the word of life. And this bestowal Son came forth from the Father just as truly as did the original Son, as is suggested in one of his earthly prayers. "And now, O my Father, glorify me with your own self, with the glory which I had with you before this world was." So that is, they're talking about Jesus, the Son of the Eternal Son. So really, God the Father is like Jesus's grandfather. Kind of like. Right? Right. But the Son, the bestowal Son, Jesus, came forth from the Father just as truly as did the original Son. So the creator sons are a joint creation of the universal Father and the eternal Son. Okay. The eternal Son is known by different names in various universes. In the central universe, he is known as the coordinate source, the co-creator, and the associate absolute. On Uversa, the headquarters of the super universe, we designate the Son as the coordinate spirit center and as the eternal spirit administrator. On Salvington, the headquarters of your local universe, this Son is of record as the second eternal source and center. Okay. The Melchizedek speak of him as the son of sons. On your world, but not in your system of inhabited spheres. This original sun has been confused with a coordinate creator sun, Michael of Nebadon, who bestowed himself upon the mortal races of Urantia. So the eternal sun is not our creator sun. So Jesus is not the eternal sun. The eternal sun is bigger. The eternal sun created or co-created Jesus, the creator son, Christ Michael. But we have got that confused on our world. And right. So here this has gotten confused, but in other planets it's not confusing. Okay. Although any of the paradise sons may fittingly be called sons of God, we are in the habit of reserving the designation the eternal Son for this original Son, the second source and center, co-creator with the universal Father of the central universe of power and perfection, and co-creator of all other divine sons who spring from the infinite deities. Okay. Okay, so the designation eternal Son is for the first Son, the Word. Yep. Okay, so, and the eternal Son is co-creator of all other divine sons who spring from the infinite deities. Okay. All right. That's it. That's good for today. And I will see you next time. Next time it'll be Kim and Andy, I think. Bye.